Hi, I'm Charlie. Today, I want to talk to you about a really simple but effective technique to help your speaking for the IELTS speaking test, but of course for everyday life too. The technique is called mimicking. Hi, I'm Charlie. Welcome to Organic English. I'm here to help you become more fluent in English. Have you heard the saying, give a man a fish and he'll eat for a day? Teach a man to fish and you feed him forever? I don't want to give you a fish, I want to teach you how to fish. And today's technique is one of those techniques that will really help you become an independent, autonomous learner. Now today I'm going to explain what mimicking is. I'm going to give you an example of mimicking in use, and I'm going to explain why it's effective, and therefore why you should integrate mimicking into your self-study routine. Now, excuse my voice, I actually have COVID right now, so that's why I sound the way I do. So let's get straight into it. What is mimicking? We can also call it imitating or imitation. Now, to put it simply, if you are mimicking, you're going to copy. You're going to pretend to be someone who is speaking natural English. So let's get practical. Here are the steps. Find some audio or video of a native speaker. Find something with subtitles or a transcript, if you can. Most videos on YouTube have captions. Many have transcript also. So do many podcasts. Of course, if you're on Netflix, you can turn on the subtitles. Now, what kind of audio? What kind of video? It could be a sitcom, an instructional video, a TED Talk, a podcast, a movie. There are really two important points when looking for the audio. The first is that it should be something you enjoy listening to or watching. Find content that is interesting to you or has some use to you. So, for example, if you hate cars, don't find a show about cars. If you're into investing, find a show or a podcast about investing. The second important point, if there's more than one person speaking in that clip that you found, you're going to be mimicking just one of those people. Okay? So, make sure the speaker you have chosen to mimic, the speaker you have chosen to imitate, has good, interesting intonation. That means their voice goes up and it goes down as they speak. Do they have interesting intonation? Can you hear the emotion? Is it engaging to listen to them? Because at the end of the day, you need to engage whoever it is you're speaking to. It might be the IELTS examiner, it might be a friend, it might be a co-worker. Also, be realistic. Don't try to mimic someone who speaks really fast. Find the right speaker for you. Once you have the audio ready, simply play it. After each phrase or sentence, pause and repeat what the speaker said. Mimic how they sound. Imitate how they sound. Copy exactly how they sound. Keep each section that you listen to short so that you can remember what the speaker said. After a couple of minutes of listening, pausing, repeating, go back and repeat that a couple of times. Do not try to mimic an entire movie or even an entire episode of a sitcom. It's just too long. Keep it short. Now you can refer to the captions or the transcript to help you work out words, phrases, connected speech that you can't break down just by listening. Now as a bonus, you'll see that this is actually a really great listening activity too, because you'll be so focused on what the speaker is saying and how the speaker is saying it. So the best thing to do is to illustrate this by giving you an example from one of my favorite sitcoms of all time. Now, sitcoms are great because there's obviously dialogue happening, and also the language is usually very, very current. It's the language of the day.
I got fired.
Oh.
I got fired.
I got fired.
Oh.
I got fired.
Yeah, they said I acted too much with it.
Yeah, they said I acted too much with it.
They said I acted too much with it.
Yeah, they said I acted too much with it.
I told everybody about this. Now, everyone...
I told everybody about this. I told everybody about this.
Now, everyone's going to go to the theater expecting to see me and...
Joe, you know what? No one is...
Now, everyone's going to go to the theater expecting to see me, and...
My mom will.
My mom will. My mom will.
Sweet and disturbing about that.
You know, I've done nothing but crappy plays for 6 years, and I finally get my shot, and I blow it.
That's quite a long section of speech, so I'm not sure I remember it correctly, so I'm going to go back and listen to it again.
You know, I've done nothing but crappy plays for 6 years, and I finally get my shot, and I blow it.
You know, I've done nothing but crappy plays for 6 years.
For 6 years, and I finally get my shot, and I blow it.
And I finally get my shot, and I blow it. You know, I've done nothing but crappy plays for 6 years, and I finally get my shot, and I blow it. You can use a longer bit of audio if you want, but for this demonstration, I'm going to keep it short. And normally you would go back and repeat that section a couple of times to make sure that you've got it. Okay, quick side note. You may have heard of a technique called shadowing. Shadowing is quite similar. With shadowing, you're repeating what the speaker says as soon as they have said it. So it's like an echo. Mimicking is a little bit different from this because you listen to a chunk of the audio, you pause, and then you repeat. I feel that as a technique, it's less intimidating and it's better for beginners and intermediates, but still effective for the more advanced learner. So that's how it works. That's how mimicking works. But why should you do it? Why should you use this technique? Firstly, I think to get better at speaking, you have to practice speaking. I believe that it's good to isolate each skill, reading, writing, speaking, and listening, to improve your overall English. Mimicking isolates speaking. The next reason you should be using this technique of mimicking is because mimicking is great for pronunciation. On the IELTS speaking test, you are assessed on 4 different things. Let's take a look at the official IELTS speaking band descriptors. So the 4 things are fluency and coherence, vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation. Now, pronunciation also affects our fluency. So you could say that it boosts the importance of pronunciation to more than 25%. So as you can see, using pronunciation features effectively is the key to higher band scores. They're mentioned again and again. What are pronunciation features? Firstly, phonemes. These are the individual sounds of English, the vowels and the consonants. Secondly, word stress. So which part of the word do you stress when you're saying it? Thirdly, sentence stress. Which words in each sentence do you stress? Fourthly, connected speech. This is when you run words together. For example, I'm going to go out becomes I'm going to go out. I'm going to go out. And finally, intonation. As I mentioned before, intonation is how your voice goes up and down as you're speaking. You can have great grammar, great vocabulary, band 8 grammar and vocab, but if you don't use these pronunciation features effectively, your score will suffer. I've heard from an IELTS examiner that you cannot get higher than a band 6 in speaking if you do not use these features well. But if you can and you do use the features well, you can boost your score immediately. Another quick side note, I want to address accent. Now, some of my students worry that their accent will affect their score, that unless they speak like an American, a Brit, an Aussie, or some other native speaker, they will not be understood. Let me reassure you, let's go back to the band descriptors. Here in band 8, one of the assessment criteria is L1 accent has minimal effect on intelligibility. This is important. It means that as a non-native speaker, you will have an accent, and that accent is not a problem unless it's so heavy that the examiner cannot understand what you're saying comfortably. Okay, back to the main point. The second reason why you should use this technique of mimicking. Mimicking will also help your fluency and coherence score. Fluency and coherence are judged on aspects such as, do you hesitate? Do you repeat yourself? Do you have a lot to say on the topic? When you mimic someone, you don't have to worry about coming up with your own thoughts, your own ideas. You don't have to worry about building sentences and then pronouncing them correctly. When you're mimicking, you don't have to worry about grammar, about vocabulary, because it's done for you. As you mimic different kinds of material, you're also learning how to talk about different topics. So you're improving your fluency in that way too. Thirdly, I already mentioned this, but I think that mimicking is a really great listening activity. It makes you focus so hard on what the speaker is saying and how the speaker is saying it. This is a great boost to your listening. Fourthly, it's very good for building confidence. You'll hear yourself improving. Your speaking will become clearer and more fluent. And your listening will improve also. So you'll understand what native speakers are saying more easily. So I really hope you can use this technique, mimicking, in your daily study routine to help you improve your speaking, whether it's for your IELTS speaking test or just to improve your speaking generally. Now you can also go to my website www.organicenglish.club, where you'll find plenty of other material to help you become more fluent in English. Thank you very much for watching. Now go out and practice your English.